Welcome back to our journey discovering the historical footage of Hollywood. If you've seen Part 1 and Part 2, you definitely cannot miss what's coming up in this Part 3. And if you're new here, remember to go back to our channel to watch the full collection of priceless moments revealed earlier. But for now, let's continue stepping into the enchanting world from 1919 all the way to 1945 right now. Take a look at this historical moment in 1922. Two cinema legends, Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks, are personally hanging the sign for the entrance to their own studio. This studio was located near the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Formosa Avenue in West Hollywood. Later on, it became the predecessor of the famous United Artists Studios, a humble beginning for the people who built the Hollywood empire. This rare aerial overview photograph was taken around 1924. It shows the massive film set for The Thief of Baghdad at Pickford Fairbanks Studios. Look closely. In the distance on the right, you can see the original Hollywoodland sign. And that giant round structure in the mid-right is a natural gasometer for the city, a detailed look at a bygone era. The lot of Pickford Fairbanks Studios on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood, 1926. Look at the background. The gasometer tower is looming large, a real glimpse of the studio's surroundings at that time. Grauman's Egyptian Theater on opening night in 1922. The film being shown was Robin Hood, starring Douglas Fairbanks. This was the very first premiere in Hollywood. The courtyard view of Grauman's Egyptian Theater around 1923, featuring statues of an Egyptian king and Indian elephants. On the right is the billboard for the movie The Thief of Baghdad, starring Douglas Fairbanks. The Pig and Whistle Cafe at 6714 Hollywood Boulevard in 1932. Originally, this was a restaurant and candy shop chain founded by John Gage in 1908. The first store opened in downtown Los Angeles. Look at that prominent sign. The exterior view of the Pig and Whistle Cafe and the Egyptian Theater on Hollywood Boulevard in 1933. At this time, the theater was showing Charlie Chan in Egypt, along with The Girl from 10th Avenue, starring Betty Davis, a busy street corner filled with lights and vintage cars. 1948, at the Egyptian Theater, a crowd of people are seated on bleachers right in front of the Pig and Whistle for a film premiere. The movie being premiered was Cass Timmerlane, starring Spencer Tracy and Lana Turner, a stunning photograph taken by Peter Stockpole for Life magazine. A normal day in 1948, people walking on the sidewalk in front of the Pig and Whistle on Hollywood Boulevard. Looking into the background at the northeast corner of Highland and Hollywood Boulevard, you can see the First National Bank building. 1923, the opening of Bard's Hollywood Theater, now the Vista Theater, located at 4473 Sunset Drive in East Hollywood. Look at the crowd lined up, waiting to see Baby Peggy in Tips. A view looking east at the junction of Hollywood and Sunset in 1930. Look at the top center. You can see the sign for the Vista Theater. By the late 1920s, Bard's Hollywood Theater had been officially renamed Vista. A view of Hollywood Boulevard looking west around 1930. On the left is the Security Building, and right in front of it is the First National Bank of Commerce and Savings. An aerial view of the Garden Court Apartments in 1924, located at 7021 Hollywood Boulevard. Built in 1917 in the Beaux Art style to serve the film industry. This was once home to legendary names like Louis B. Mayer, Mae Murray, and John Gilbert. An aerial view looking north on Orange Drive toward Franklin Avenue in 1924. On the hilltop at the top center is the estate and Japanese garden of Charles and Adolph Bernheimer. Today, this is the famous Yamashiro restaurant. An aerial view from a vintage postcard around 1924. It shows the overview of the estate and Japanese garden belonging to brothers Charles and Adolph Bernheimer. This unique residence sits majestically on the Hollywood Hills. An aerial close-up of the estate and Japanese garden in 1925. Look at the terraced steps on the hillside, which featured 30,000 plants, shrubs, and waterfalls. It even housed hundreds of goldfish, along with exotic birds and monkeys. A view of the miniature Japanese village at the Bernheimer estate at 1999 North Sycamore in Hollywood. It was surrounded by canals with tiny bronze houseboats. Below lies a small pond and a 600-year-old pagoda brought all the way from Japan. A view looking east showing the flooded intersection of Hollywood Boulevard and Highland Avenue around 1924. Look at the First National Bank building on the northeast corner. This is the future site of the iconic 13-story bank building. Behind the intersection, the 2-story building at 6757 to 6763 Hollywood Boulevard still stands to this day. A photograph from 1924 at the northeast corner of Hollywood Boulevard and Highland Avenue. This is the First National Bank and the Frank Moline Company. Look at the storage truck parked by the curb. A man is standing in front of the entrance while a woman appears to be crossing the street. A view looking east on Hollywood Boulevard at the Highland intersection in 1924. Look at the northeast corner on the left, where the First National Bank stands. In the distance on the right is the 8-story Christie Hotel, and at the southeast corner you can see the construction of the Bank of America building. Hollywood Boulevard looking east from near Highland in 1924. Notice the marquee at the Hollywood Theater at number 6764. The film showing was Why Men Leave Home, starring Louis Stone. A part of the theater still exists today, and in the 1990s, this location became the site of the Guinness World Records Museum. A police officer standing on a low platform directing traffic at the Hollywood and Highland intersection in the 1920s. Look at the streetcar with the Santa Monica sign. In the distance, you can see the back of the Christie Hotel, and on the right is the Bank of America building located on the southeast corner. A view looking south across Hollywood Boulevard in 1931. This is the Bank of America building located on the southeast corner of Hollywood and Highland. The first floor of this building still exists today, and currently it is home to the famous Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum. From across Hollywood Boulevard, we can see two banks at the corner of Hollywood and Hudson in the 1920s. On the left is the Pacific Southwest Bank, and across the street is the California Bank. Notice, located just to the left of Pacific Southwest is the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce with a flag hanging out front. A horse-drawn wagon from the Gilmore Oil Company in a Hollywood parade around 1925. It carries a large oil tank with a prophetic sign. Someday you will own a horseless carriage. Our gasoline will run it. Look at the driver, shaded by an umbrella. In the background is the sign for the Hollywood Playhouse. Cars crossing the streetcar tracks in 1925. Look into the distance on the left. You can see a streetcar in motion. In the background is a row of busy businesses, including Troy Laundry, Richfield Oil, Silverwoods, and Hollywood Auto Service. 1925, homes scattered throughout Hollywood and the Hollywood Hills. Near the center of the photo is the estate and art gallery, built in the Mission and Moorish Revival style. This property was once owned by the famous painter Paul de Longpre. Looking south on Vine Street toward Selma Avenue in 1925, 4 lanes of traffic moving on a road with no lane markings. On both sides, shady trees partially hide the buildings behind. Look deep into the frame. You can see the famous Players Lasky studio, located right on the corner. Looking north at the original barn rented by Lasky Studio in 1913. It was located at the corner of Selma and Vine. Look at the tall building in the background. That is the Taft Building, built in 1923 at the southeast corner of Hollywood and Vine. A view of Hollywood looking north from Rossmore and Rosewood Avenues in 1925. In the distance, you can see the legendary Hollywoodland sign. Above the center left is the newly completed Mulholland Dam. Notably, the empty lot in the middle is the future site of the Ravenswood Apartments, built later in 1930. A panoramic view of Hollywood looking north on Vine Street from Clinton Street in 1925. In the foreground are single-story residential rows, transitioning into tall hotels near the mountains. Look at the hillside. You can see the lone letter H alongside the famous Hollywoodland sign. To the left, a small section of the Mulholland Dam is also visible. Looking north on Vine Street from Barton Avenue in 1925, on the left is the Vine Street Elementary School. Further toward the northwest corner of Vine and Romaine stands DWP Distributing Station Number 6, and on the distant hilltop, the Hollywoodland sign still stands proudly. A view of the Hollywood Hills in 1926 with the Hollywoodland sign in the background. Notice the large white dot located right below the sign. Contrary to previous beliefs, this dot was not installed to attract attention. It would be nonsensical to place such a small attractor right beneath a massive sign that was 543 feet long. The real story is much more complex. A peaceful view of the streets and homes in Hollywood Hills around 1926. In the foreground, you can see 3 vintage cars parked along the way, and in the distance, standing tall on the mountain, is the familiar Hollywoodland sign. Looking north toward the Hollywood Hills from the 1500 block of Genesee Street in 1926. This is the view just before reaching a dead end. Notice the single globe street lamps, which are elaborately decorated. These are iconic of early Los Angeles street lighting. Looking north on Gower Street around 1926. At this time, the road was still unpaved. Standing tall at the northeast corner of Gower and Carlos Avenue is the First Presbyterian Church of Hollywood. A photograph of the Hotel Iris in 1923, located on the north side of Sunset Boulevard, just east of Bronson Avenue. This was once home to the legendary star Judy Garland. Look at the shops on the ground floor, featuring signs for Henry Creamery and Iris Confectionery and Cafe. Later, the building became known as the El Dorado and finally the St. Moritz Hotel. A view of Sunset Boulevard looking west from Van Ness in 1930. On the left is the Warner Brothers West Coast Studios with its iconic white columns, and on the right you can see the Hotel El Dorado, which was formerly the Hotel Iris we just saw. A historic moment at 5800 Sunset Boulevard around 1919. Look at the man and woman standing on the vacant lot. Behind them is a building under construction which would later become the first studio of Warner Brothers on the West Coast. Parked along the road is a Scripps Booth automobile from around 1918. A view of Sunset Boulevard looking west from near Van Ness in 1926. Look to the left. The main Warner Brothers West Coast studio building stands with its classic design and tall radio towers. Cars line the street, while on the opposite side you can spot the familiar Hotel Iris. A view looking southeast from the intersection of Sunset and Bronson in 1927. Before us is the Warner Brothers West Coast Studios, located at 5858 Sunset Boulevard. Notice the tall towers and the long building with its iconic architecture, where major milestones in film history were made. A view of the former Warner Brothers studio lot in 1937 after film production had ended. Witness the incredible transformation as the site was redeveloped into the Sunset Bowling Center. Promoted as a sports palace, this complex featured modern bowling lanes and various indoor sports facilities built right behind the old executive offices. A red streetcar from Pacific Electric is crossing Sunset Boulevard diagonally at Gardner Street in 1927. Notice the Gardner Junction, which was a major stop for the Pacific Electric system. Our view is looking east toward La Brea Avenue. A view looking east on Hollywood Boulevard at the intersection with Highland Avenue around 1926. These two major streets are connected by a network of streetcar tracks. Right at the northeast corner, you can see the Hollywood branch of the Los Angeles First National Trust and Savings Bank. An exterior view of the Hollywood First National Bank, located at the northeast corner of Highland and Hollywood Boulevard around 1927. This building at 6777 was designed by architects Meyer and Haller. They're the same famous designers behind Grauman's Chinese Theater, the Egyptian Theater, and Culver Studios. Looking west on Hollywood Boulevard between Orange Drive and Highland Avenue in 1927. Standing tall in the northwest is Grauman's Chinese Theater. On the left is the 12-story Bank of America building, and at the center is the Pacific Electric red car sign marking a busy intersection. An exterior view of the Hollywood Plaza Hotel in 1927, located at 1637 North Vine Street. The photo shows the entire facade of this grand high-rise. Notice the vintage cars parked neatly along the hotel entrance. A view toward the northeast corner of Vine Street and Selma Avenue in 1930. Here you can see a very interesting parking lot. Notice the advertising signs. A complete car polish costs only 75 cents, and all-day parking is just 15 cents. A truly unique piece of architecture, the Hollywood Flower Pot Florist Shop in the 1920s. The entire building is shaped like a giant flower pot with a large plant growing inside. This charming shop was located at 1124 North Vine Street, right at the southeast corner of Vine and Banner Avenue. Featured entries in the Hollywood Old Settlers Parade around 1927 or 1928. In front is a horse-drawn wagon with B.H. Dias Co. printed on its side. Following closely behind is a light-colored truck with the same branding, driven by two men in uniform. Notice the interesting detail. The truck's windshield has been cranked open. Our journey for today ends here. We hope these moments from 1919 to 1945 have given you a completely different look at old Hollywood. From all the shots we've seen, which one was your favorite? Or how do you feel after witnessing the incredible transformation of this land? Please leave a comment and let us know. And don't forget to hit subscribe and share this video to help us bring history back to life. Thank you, and see you soon.